What up, biatch?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Captain Cook. I'm Jerome.
And I'm Nick.
Today we're discussing Breaking Bad Season 3, Episodes 3 and 4, I.F.T. and Greenlight. I just stretched it out because the song was still going there,
Yeah,
you know?
I got you.
But so we'll just start off right here,
Okay.
the beginning of the episode.
That's a good place to start.
Episode 3. You don't want to go in like the middle?
No, let's go from the start.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Start of episode 3 or 4?
Let's do 3.
Okay.
What up, biatch?
That's my new favorite sound, by the way. In case
Is that from his phone?
Yeah.
What up, biatch?
I found it online because I knew it would sound better, so it's
Oh.
more clean. But it's a flashback to Tortuga in the bar, and he's talking. It's like right before they found the turtle out in the desert a couple episodes back.
Yeah, so
And instantly, because he meets that cartel guy, the guy in charge that we've seen a ton in Saul, see him later in this.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think we'd have to see Tortuga in Saul possibly?
Uh,
Because he's a kind of big, like he's a dude that they've seen multiple times, and he's big enough for them to kill for ratting on them and stuff.
sorry.
And Saul loves to fan service.
I never thought of it, and then
Me either until watching this.
and then you brought it up, and yeah, I mean, absolutely. Everyone in that scene is in Saul
Yeah.
except for him.
It's weird. Thinking about the timeline of this actually kind of hurts my brain a little bit. Because I was thinking, I was like, they kind of have to get going on, like, getting this closer to Breaking Bad. Because, like, they just built the meth lab. So how long is Gus going to have that empty, you know? And then I was also thinking a couple episodes back, they talked, actually I think they talk about in this episode later on, about Tuco and how he takes over for Hector and all that. And he's integral to this north of the border business. And I was like, a lot of shit has to happen this next, like, he has to get out of jail next season. Because, like, they're only going to do 6 seasons, I believe they said.
Well,
And next is 5.
he wasn't going to jail for that long. Remember?
Yeah, well, and they time jumped.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm assuming a lot of stuff like that's going to happen next season, which would be pretty cool. I love if they were to go back and make him a main guy.
This scene where they chop off Danny Trejo's head.
Mm-hmm.
The,
That looks so gross because it's almost like realistic. I mean, it is as
Yeah.
realistic as they can get because he's yelling and they chop it and just the blood splatter and he's like,
yeah.
so gross.
So the first thing I thought of, because they come in all badass and they do it, and I was like,
Mhm.
Jerome says they don't do anything.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I might have been harsh on them last episode because they do some cool stuff, but I think overall they're my least favorite of the bad guys in the show.
I just don't understand that at all. I
But
mean,
I like them a lot. I don't think there's a bad villain in the show except for me. Oh, no, actually, I like them more than the Nazis. I'll give you that.
gee, thanks.
Because the Nazis, that would have been, that's when the show, I was like, that's a little weird. But I still like it, but I was like, oh, that's odd.
I get it. It's, yeah.
Like, it's not bad, but it's just like, oh, that's not what I expected.
It was a
For the-
weird
For
way
the
to go.
final villain, it's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we see that.
But it's not a
mentioned
video game. It's not like they get better each time.
It turns into, like, Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Walt's just attacking Nazis the rest of the show. Walt cleans up the pizza on Skylar's roof, and you see Mike watching him, and I think he calls Gus right here. Gus or Victor. I don't know if they show you. But they say, I'm assuming Saul doesn't need to know. And he goes, no. All right.
I think that was
Gus?
Gus.
That's what I assume so, too. It is
Yeah.
Victor, right? I think I looked it up, but now I can't remember.
Yeah, Victor sounded
Victor.
right.
I
He
made
was-
sure,
he
I made
was-
sure to I made sure to write his name whenever he's in scenes on here, so I remember it's Victor, and then I second guessed it by saying it.
If you would have just shut the fuck up, you'd been
No,
fine.
no one would even called me out on it. Although they might not have known what I was talking about if I was wrong. Like, who's this Victor fella he keeps bringing
What's
up?
your Vector, Victor?
What's your Victor? Skylar and Walt fight over him moving back in
They did?
a couple times.
Hmm.
Actually, this entire 2 episodes.
Yeah.
This is when, like, because Skylar's annoying before, but it's just because she's like, well, where are you? Talk to me. But now that she's mad at him, she's so much more annoying.
Oh, her annoyingness is the same for me. She's now a bitch.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. She's crossed over into...
She's now a Belle. Is she Kristen Bell?
You know, I never did that. And then last episode, I fucked it up, and now it's just like a fucking...
Yeah, you said.
I don't know what button's what, and I second guess it. I should just go with my instincts.
Do you have some?
Sometimes. Walter Jr. comes home. Walt offers to make them grilled cheese. And he's like, hey, Skylar, you want one? She's like, no. He kind of uses Walter Jr. in little ways like this to, like, get at Skylar because he knows Walter Jr. loves him.
Did you look to see if his sandwich had crust on it?
No, I didn't even occur to me. Would you cut the crust off of grilled cheese? Like if you were,
if you don't like
if you're
crust.
someone that does that, would they do that also?
It's a sandwich.
That's weird. I've never even wondered about that until now. Now you got me wondering if you cut the crust off.
I don't. I mean, if you cut the crust off your sandwiches and you make a grilled cheese, why wouldn't you cut off?
Well, because it's grilled, so it's different. Like, would you cut the crust off of? I guess never mind. The police show up. I was gonna ask if you cut the crust off a sub, but yeah. The police show up and they can't do anything about it.
I like that scene.
I did too.
They're like, it's his house too.
Yeah, and the one guy's like, well, if anything happens, like, here's my card, or whatever. And she's like, oh. I like too when like, because Walt kind of puts on his game when stuff like this happens, and like the baby's crying, he's like, oh, and I got the bottle, and okay, blah blah.
Yeah,
blah.
he's totally manipulating him.
And then Walter Jr.'s like, well, why? I don't know why she's acting like this. She's crazy. Like, my dad's an amazing guy until like a year or two, when I find out he's a meth dealer. Then I won't talk to him either.
Yeah. Then I do the old flipperoo.
Yeah. Then I start saying,
You're a pussy.
I wish you could get rid of that one.
there's a couple I've gotten rid of, and you'll have to find out which ones are gone.
How will I know?
I won't hit the button. You'll notice like for 4 weeks that one hasn't been hit.
But what if I
I
just think
still have though. Accidentally hit it twice. Saul shows up at Jesse's, brings him a cactus as a housewarming gift, and asks Jesse to call Walt again.
Do you think he was like, hey, this is right next to my brother's house?
It'd be like, I wish they could like edit it now and add like a little comment like that, like
oh, that'd be kind of cool.
but like I don't think Saul would make any comments like that now.
He would just like look across the street. And be
Yeah,
like,
but like, it would have been nice if like we see him pull up and him like look over it, like it's still in my like imagination, it's still burnt down.
it's like smoking.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
They have to CGI that tree back in there. But Saul leaves and Jesse calls Jane. Here's her voicemail. He does that quite a bit of stuff. That's actually kind of sad. Him doing that so much.
Yeah.
Especially when he calls and it's like.
Oh yeah, and that was weird because it was right after he just called.
They must have been like at 8:32. This thing's off.
This happened. I don't know. I know I've seen that before, where someone calls and listens to the voice.
Happens in a lot of things.
You know, it's kind of like John Wick when he's looking at the video.
Oh yeah, it's very similar.
But
Except Jesse doesn't go around killing everybody. Oh, he should have though. But like, poof, poof, poof. You killed Jane.
yeah, I don't think that would have worked as well.
I'd still go see that.
He's
Hank,
not Keanu.
Hank gets a call El Paso once and back, and he's fucking stoked. He can't wait to get out there and see more heads on turtles.
Yeah, he's not very believable.
He is very upset about this, but in this grand scheme of things, this could have saved his. He's afraid of it killing him. It would save his life going out there. Potentially.
He doesn't die.
He's pretty dead.
Do what you're gonna do.
Well, yeah, but it takes a while.
It's like a year, actually. It's not that long.
If you would have went to,
And, like, watching it time, yeah, it takes a bit. But in the Breaking Bad world, in like a year from now, he's going to get killed from Walt.
well, don't forget,
Maybe a year and a half.
Don't forget, in about a week he gets
That's true. He
shot.
gets real fucked up. The Salamanca twins steal an old lady's car. Make sure it's a wheelchair thing so then they could bring Gus with them.
I
at the
didn't
meeting.
realize. I mean, I've seen this episode.
Or
and
not Gus, Hector.
I remember the meat because I remember him saying, "Sorry, it's not wheelchair accessible."
Mm-hmm. They have to carry him up the stairs.
But I didn't remember them stealing the van.
I saw the lady and I was like, oh, fuck, yeah, this is where they steal her
I
thing.
think they killed her.
You know what I wish they did? You know
Hmm.
how, like, some shows, like, their end credit thing is, like, just a random clip of the episode or, like, something
Mhm.
going on? You just see the lady in the parking lot, like, at, like, 6:30 at night going, like, help!
Oh my-
Anybody? Just, like, a little extra sting.
They threw in a dumpster.
But, yeah, so the Salamanca twins, the cartel guy that I don't remember his name, and Gus all meet, and Hector all go meet Gus.
Now, the guy, because he's kind of the mediator,
Yeah.
but he's obviously in charge of the cartel.
Used to be big boss. Kind of still feels like he is,
still
but
is. So he's the
won't
guy
be
that
for
helps.
long.
But he's the guy that helps Gus. Fuck everybody up. Fuck the old Don up, right?
I believe so.
So then that's how he took over, I guess.
I think so,
We'll have to get into that when they do those flashbacks. But I'm kind of
Yeah. Well, I would be interested to pay attention this time and see if we think that guy is Gus's boyfriend. That'd be something I'd be interested if they touched on in Saul also. 'Cause we don't know a lot about his backstory. So we
yeah.
could just like shut up. When we did the whole theory podcast about that,
I didn't until you mentioned it. I was like, what are you talking about?
you're like, what boyfriend? They discuss that this is the part that I brought up in the beginning, that Tuco took over for Hector and was a key man in the organization north of the border, which I found very interesting because as of right now in Saul, he was just kind of like an annoying nephew to him a little bit, who got very angry and then is now in prison.
But he was in charge.
Yeah, but like not doing much. Like you wouldn't say like he's important.
Well, I mean, because Nacho took over for him.
Yeah, but like if Nacho died right now, I don't think they would even care. Like them, like to get like revenge, and like he was a key part of the business. You know what I mean? Like that kind of important.
He'd like to hope they, because he hasn't fucked anybody over yet. But
Actually, he has big time. They just don't know it.
well, yeah. But I mean, but Tuco would be in Nacho's spot now if he wasn't in jail.
See, it'll be interesting next season if they do get him out of prison, because that means Tuco will be Hector, and Nacho will still be in Nacho's spot.
But
With Crazy 8 being there also, because Crazy 8 was doing Nacho's job, like doing the money stuff at the very end of the last season.
yeah, we're gonna have to rewatch that last season.
It was Lawyer Up, baby. Spin-off podcast.
Keep going.
I love to see the regret in your eyes. It's almost the same look as when I stick a finger in your ass.
Wow.
But Gus tells them that they have
How
to...
could you see my eyes when you're putting your finger in my ass?
Oh, because I do it straight on. I go underneath your balls.
You
Asked for it,
reach.
baby. Gus tells them that they will wait until Walt is done with his business with Gus before they can kill him.
Even though technically they don't have business together.
Oh, he knows how to trick Walt. That's what I liked at the end of the second episode, the way they do with the money and all that. He was like, oh, yeah. Because, like, they are similar, and I think he sees that. He's like, oh, yeah, partner up with Jesse. He'll be real upset about that. Give him half the money.
Which he has no reason to be upset about it.
Yeah, no reason at all. But even Gus is like, oh, he won't like that.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that bit. Jesse is sat at home. He calls Jane 3 more times. That's really all he
counted?
does this episode. What'd you say?
You counted?
I actually did. I was waiting. He counted. Boop, boop, boop. Hey, I have 3 words for you. Do not call us. And 3 words for you. Do not call us. And then it happens again, and then it fades to different scenes. So he could have called her more times. That's all we saw in the scene.
I think he's upset.
Skylar's smoking in the bathroom.
Smoking in the bathroom.
And the baby wakes up, and then Walt wakes up, and he's like, do you need help? Can I use the bathroom? And then the fucking sick son of a bitch goes into the kitchen and pisses into the sink.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, we'll just go out back.
Yeah. Go
You kn-
piss on some cactuses or roses or something. Go
Pe-
piss in your pool, for fuck's sake. Anywhere but the sink.
Yeah.
Go piss on Walter Jr.
And do they only have one bathroom? Like, what the fuck?
No, they have one in their bedroom. And down the hall.
That's what I mean.
So, like, I don't know why. Yeah, he's just a stubborn little cocksucker. Skylar tells her lawyer about Walt dealing drugs.
And she said leave him.
Yeah, her lawyer recommends suing Walt for everything he's got. And she's like, but I can't because he's going to be dead soon. So,
Yeah, he's gonna.
not as soon as she thinks or hopes, probably. Hank and Gomez go to a bar. Gomez doesn't like the bar that they picked. So then eventually Hank goes to the bathroom a couple more times, and then they go to pick the car. Hank leaves his gun in the car and picks a fight with 2 dudes.
That did a little deal in front of him. But yeah.
Yeah, but he went there on purpose so they can make a deal, and then he'd be like, oh, I'm going to fight them, and maybe I'll get in trouble and won't go to El Paso.
Is that what you see? I was thinking he was like, all right, I have to go to El Paso, but I'm a fucking pussy. I'm gonna prove to myself that I can beat somebody up.
No, I think he was looking to get in a fight there where he shouldn't be, so he gets in trouble. And they're like, okay, well, no El Paso for you. Maybe if you clean up your act later on. And then it didn't work.
I just thought he was trying to prove something to himself.
Because Gomez keeps questioning him about
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah.
I think that's what's happening. But it could be both too. Like he could be like, maybe I'll get in trouble.
That'd have been bad.
Maybe I'll get in trouble and won't go. Maybe I'll be like, oh, you know what? Fuck it. I could deal with another head on a turtle.
Welcome to
Jesus.
See some blown off limbs.
That-
Shouldn't they bring like Gomez and everybody else into El Paso because like the whole other team's dead or limbless?
Yeah, they're probably bringing a couple people.
Yeah, so he might be with a nicer group.
They have to buy-
That positivity is always helping
Have to
everything.
buy another tortoise.
Yeah. Jesse goes out to the desert and starts cooking. We don't get a montage, unfortunately. So I think the IMDb thing was right. No more meth montages. Rest in peace, meth montages.
Wow.
Walt shows Skylar his money and asks to talk. Then it cuts away to Gomez tells Hank that ASAC wants to see him. And then I like how he told him like the cover-up story. He's like, I didn't tell them, though, that you left your gun in the car. and blah, blah. So you were prepared to go in there and fight and all that shit. And then he's like, okay. And just goes out there to go talk to his boss. We don't get to see that conversation with his boss, though, which is why I think they leave it to question of why he did that fight.
Yeah.
Skylar is at work, and maybe they did talk about the money, and I just didn't write down what they talked about. But he told about the money, and she doesn't really care.
No, in fact, she even calls it the drug money.
Yeah. Skylar's at work. She kisses Ted, and then asks him if his kids are home.
What does that mean?
Well, leading to my next note here, Skylar comes home and picks up the salad and goes, speaking of salads, I fucked Ted. And then goes and sets it down for Flynn and Dildo.
Holly?
No, the other boy that was there. That guy, Flynn's best friend.
Oh.
He looks so familiar, too, and I'm too lazy to look him up. But he looks really familiar.
I didn't even pay
Flynn's
attention
friend.
that he was there.
Yeah, because I think that was part of Walt's plan. Is like, I talked about it this morning. She can't yell at me.
Yeah.
Man boys here.
I remember him saying that he was going to invite him over because he'd get
he's so much help and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so the episode ends there. Next episode, Breaking Bad Season 3, Episode 4, Greenlight. That's specifically for you, so you know we're in the next episode now, because last episode you had some problems.
Good, because
Intro,
really confusing.
Jesse's coming home from his cook from the last episode, and he needs to get gas. Unfortunately, he forgot his money.
Yeah, that's
Can't buy gas. So then he gives the girl blue
Like,
sky.
what would he have done if she didn't want that? Walk home?
Just drove off. That girl was not going to stop him.
Oh, that's true.
What's weird is, like, he did it, like, it seemed like he was, like, being the bad guy, and he does it in front of a cop, too, which is very, like, risky for him.
Yeah.
And all that. And then he goes out. But, like, why wouldn't he just be like, I forgot it. All right, well, instead of getting this girl hooked on meth, I'm just going to drive out of here.
Well, she wasn't hooked. She gave it away.
And in his mind, he's like, oh, it's amazing, and blah, blah, blah. He's, like, trying to sell her on it.
Yeah.
He could have just drove away.
Maybe it's pay first.
Maybe. Yeah.
Meth first.
Meth first, gas later.
Yeah.
That's how QT works, isn't it?
That's how all gas stations work.
At Saul's office, he's given a biker-looking dude a new neck brace because everybody's calling him, apparently trying to get money for the airplane crash.
He's actually calling people, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care if a pack of peanuts fell on your head later on.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, kind of funny, though. Like, it's very Saulish. Mike walks in.
Is that a word?
Saulish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you watch these shows, it makes sense. Mike walks in, shows Saul, Skylar, and Walt's fight. He has a little recorder, and he hits play on it and shows Saul everything that went down.
Yeah, I like how they're like, yeah, is that good or bad? And then he's like, I'll go talk to him, and they're like, oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember how Walt figured out that they bugged his house, but then
Oh, yeah. So they talk to it, and then they play the next little clip, yeah, where Walt's like, oh, yeah, you want to fuck Ted? I'll go talk to him myself. And Walt goes over to Ted's, tries to pick a fight with him. I think he tries to pick up that plant and throws it
that
out
was
there.
bad.
Yeah.
And then
Walt is very dumb when he's angry.
It's funny when he plays like the imbecile because like she's like, well, what are you doing? And he looks up from the plant, it's in his face, and he's like talking to Ted.
Yeah. Whenever he's like that, it reminds me of Malcolm in the Middle. Except a lot more serious. Mike pulls up, grabs Walt, brings him over to Saul's house, and then they yell at him a little bit, and Walt's like, wait a minute. How did you guys know I was there? And they're like, what?
I like how there's twice in this episode where Mike was like, all right, I've had enough of you, and just like takes care of him.
Yeah.
I don't see in this because of Saul. I now respect Mike more.
I've always loved Mike. Because he kind of he's like the lovable but really grumpy like uncle or grandpa you could have.
To me, he's always the guy that killed Axel Foley's friend in Detroit.
Well, you can't bring other stuff into this.
But he is.
But yeah, so Walt finds out there. So Mike unbugs Walt's house. As Mike's leaving, he notices the little symbol that the Salamanca twins drew on Walt's thing. And he goes, you know, Walt, sometimes it's nice to have someone watch your back. Like a couple days ago when you were singing in the shower and I saved your fucking life, so be grateful.
Yeah, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, without saying that last bit. And then he just drives off. I think this is the first time seeing Marie this season. I don't know if she was in the other two episodes. When I saw her, I was like, oh, we haven't seen her in a bit.
Yeah, then
And she's not, and she's only in this scene, I think.
And the episodes are starting to blend in quite a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
So
Marie brings Hank to the airport, and he's kind of talking her into like
Have you
being
noticed-
okay with him going, but he's really, I think, trying to talk himself into going.
As much as the airport's in this show, no one ever goes in.
Yeah, everyone just goes outside of it.
Yeah.
It is weird. I never really thought about that.
He
until you
dropped
said
him
that.
off, and he's like, taxi, and I was like, yeah,
Oh.
him too.
So Sopranos copied another scene from this.
No.
They did that same scene. Breaking Bad did it twice. Sopranos only did it once, as far as I saw.
Yeah, once in front of him.
Hank gets a call that they found blue sky, so he doesn't go on his plane. Gets a taxi,
He's using it as an excuse.
but also I think it's definitely an excuse. But I think it's partly his like I have to fucking solve this case. I want to find my Heisenberg.
I want to find the guy that's right next to me.
Yeah, I want to find Walter White.
I want to find my brother.
I only had to take a shit right now, and I can grab that book. Although he wouldn't get it now because he had the WW talk.
Yeah.
Walt walks out of school with his Oh wait, I totally skipped a scene. We went straight to Marie. Walt gets called to the principal's office and tries to get frisky with.
That was
her.
awkward, and
Really
I don't
awkward.
like watching that scene.
Yeah, it's really awkward.
She's like,
he's all
"Whoa,
like
what is wrong with?"
putting his arm around his shoulder. He's like, should I? Oh my god, I can't say call Skylar. Every time we have that brought up in this podcast, I say Skull Kyler. Should I call Skylar? And he's like, no. And then like flicks her hair back and shit. That's really weird.
Part of the reason it's so awkward is because she doesn't even get mad at him. She's just like feels bad for him, sort
A
of.
little bit, yeah. And she's like, oh, well, what are you doing?
She said, "What is wrong with you?"
But he brings out his belongings, and Jesse honks at him. And then Jesse like tells him like, you don't want a meeting with your guy, and Walt's like, what? No. And Walt kind of thinks he wants them both to go meet with them. He's like, no, I don't care about you. You can stay out of it. I don't care. Shows him his blue meth, and then Walt fucking loses his shit.
Yeah, that was.
Which I don't think rightfully so there. I think Walt was a dick there.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Walt was
Dick.
And
He was like literally trying to come up with reasons that he shouldn't do it, and he couldn't.
yeah, I love too when Walt's like, oh, what'd you do? What'd you dilute it with, or whatever meth terms they used?
Okay.
And with this, and he's like, no, I use this gas because that one gets hard to get, and like totally snaps back at him with like the right thing. And Walt, you see him like, fuck, it's my product.
What's funny about that is, like, why would he use anything other than Walt's, like, method?
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's not like Jesse's a chemist. He just knows how to make the meth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, of course he's gonna use what you use.
I also thought it was weird too when Walt got weird and Jesse was like, I gave some samples out. They said it was the bomb. He's like, oh, who was they? The meth heads? And he's like, yeah, they would know.
Yeah.
Like if they don't think it's good, they're not gonna buy your meth anyways, even if it is so pure and whatever you want.
What I don't like is Jesse's like, oh, I made meth. It was good. He's looking for Walt's approval.
Yeah, and he wanted Walt to be proud of him.
And he wasn't. And then he wants to sell it to Gus because it's good, and Gus buys it, but not because it's good. He buys it because of Walt.
Yeah,
that annoys me.
I know. I totally get that. But one of my favorite bits in Break, I was waiting for this part once I knew Walt was gonna get fired.
Oh, when he drives away?
He has his box in there, and Jesse goes like, okay, asshole, or whatever, and just drives off, and then all his stuff falls on the floor. I love that scene.
You know, actually, Jesse says, eat me.
And Walt goes, anytime.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's a weird answer.
Because I was like, that's not, you know.
Yeah.
And then he drives off with his shit.
If I was Jesse, I think I would put, oh, wait, did you say you'd eat me anytime?
Yeah.
I was just yelling. I don't know what I was saying. Skylar bangs Ted again. It's odd. I don't like them banging.
So it's Ted, too.
Electric Boogaloo. But Ted kind of offers her to move in a little bit. Like, he's hinting at it. And he's like, oh,
Yeah, Ted's like in love with her
here.
already.
What about your son? Oh, your son won't hate you in a couple years. Well, he'll get over it.
He'll call me Dad.
Yeah. And then he asks her. I would forget who asked what, but it only makes sense that he asked this question. About Walt. And he's like, I just want to make sure that I don't make the same mistake. And she's like, oh, believe me, I'd be surprised if you did.
Me too.
Wouldn't that be fucking hilarious, though, if, like, Ted, like, once he bonked his head or whatever, then all of a sudden he starts making meth, and she's like, what the fuck? Is it this pussy? Does this pussy make you make meth?
I don't want to think about Skylar's pussy, please. It's bad enough hearing her moan.
It won't be the last time. Jesse shows up at Saul's and says, like, here's my meth. You know the guy that knows the guy, right?
Yeah.
And then he introduces him to Gus.
And Saul's a dick to him, too, until he lays the meth down.
A little bit, yeah. So, no, rightfully so, because Walt punched him and shit earlier. I like that when they get in the fight. And
Jesse didn't punch him.
Yeah, and Mike picks him up with it. He sees them as partners, even though they're not. But Mike...
Well, they are.
Yeah, I guess. Mike gives Gus an update on Walt. And then goes, oh, and by the way, because of the lawyer, I'm supposed to mention to you that Pinkman kid wants to meet with you or whatever, wants to sell you. And he's like, no, I don't deal with drug dealers. And then he's like, oh, wait a minute.
Junkies.
Though. Junkies, yeah. And then wait a minute.
He is a drug dealer.
That'd be weird if he doesn't deal with drug dealers, right? But that would piss Walt off. You know what? Do the deal. And Mike's like, okay.
I thought he was going to So I totally remembered this wrong. When he said he wants to do a deal, and he's like, "I don't deal with junkies," I thought he's gonna say, "Hey, he's actually clean now." And
Like Mike talk him into it.
yeah, and it was like, nope, it was just go do it. And he's like, "Oh, all right." And I was like, "Wow, I totally."
One of my other favorite things with Mike is when him and Jesse like team up and they start going and doing the trips together.
Just like Nacho,
Yeah, yeah.
we think.
I'm hoping that's the case. That's my theory is because he mentions he had an old partner is that Nacho was his old partner there.
Yeah.
But the only problem with that is that means Nacho might die, which I don't like that idea. But yes, they're gonna start selling meth or buying meth from Jesse. Hank drives to the gas station that Jesse gave that girl Blue Sky, makes her cry, and he gets like a loose description of Jesse.
Very loose.
Yeah, and then there's an RV, and then the camera doesn't work. He goes outside, finds an ATM with a little camera in it.
Ass to mouth.
Yeah, he does a little ass to mouth, and some guy's like, "I got a camera." And then he's like, "Oh, can I use the footage?" He's like, "You sure?"
It was actually cool, like having the camera come out.
I did like that. And he's like looking at it black and white, and he's like kind of like aiming with it, like to see if he'd get it. They get it. They don't get a license plate, but he does get the RV.
It was lucky to get that.
Yeah. Walter Jr. mentions it's been 3 days since the site has gotten a donation, and do you think it's because Saul turned it off?
That might be it.
Yeah, Skylar doesn't give a shit about it. He mentions a bunch of things in the scene. Skylar knows every single one, and then eventually he gets a ride to school. Jesse meets Victor in some underpass area, and sorry, I'm just getting ready. And he meets Victor in the underpass area, and he gives him the meth, he gives him the money, and then Victor turns around, and Jesse's like, "What? This is only half the money." And the guy's like, "Yeah, that's your cut." And then Jesse goes,
Where's the other half, bitch?
I don't think he should be calling Victor a bitch.
I mean, Victor got killed by Gus, so.
You don't think Victor could take Jesse at this point?
No, they would, because Jesse's the star, so he would win.
He's not the star.
He's the second star. He's co-star, so he wins every fight. Actually, no, he doesn't. He loses.
He hasn't
every
won a
fight.
fight yet.
He won't win one ever, I don't think. Hank's boss asks him if he's going to go to El Paso or not, and Hank goes, "No."
Did you
But
know?
only because I want to find Heisenberg, not because I'm like having PTSD.
Did you notice he couldn't look his boss in the eye?
Yeah, he was real awkward in that conversation.
Yeah, his boss knew. His boss was
His
like,
boss
"All right,
totally knew, and it's just like, "Okay, yeah, you're not ready. Whatever. Go get on it then."
you better go get that blue meth."
Is that your impression
I
of him?
don't know.
Walt's driving and listening to the radio, and he hears that Jane's dad tried to shoot himself.
No, he did shoot himself.
Well, he tried to kill himself and tried to kill himself by shooting himself in the head. Didn't die, and he got rushed to the hospital.
Yeah.
I think it's the last we ever hear of him. He quickly changes the channel because someone might be feeling a little guilty.
Yeah. Is it guilt or does he just not want to hear it?
No, I think he was uncomfortable. It's like, whoa, music time.
Dude, they were singing The Valley of the Sun.
And then Victor pulls up and throws Walt his money.
And Walt goes, "Ugh!"
Yeah. Although, wouldn't you too? Someone pulls up and throws
Yeah,
a-
yeah,
like
absolutely.
you think it's like a bag of shit or something. And you're like, "Hey, whoa, what's
People
it?"
don't usually pull up and throw money at you.
Or bags of shit, but they should.
See, the problem with the bag of shit is you got to put the shit in the bag.
Do you think if you're gonna throw a bag, no, you could just scoop it upside down and then get it into the bag, and then you just toss it to somebody.
How do you scoop it upside down?
Well, you hold the bag and then you put your hand through the bottom of the bag to grab the poop, and then just pull it back. Then the bag's normal. I don't know how you don't understand how that works.
It's a paper bag.
Yeah. So it's this way. So you make it go inside out, grab the poop, and then you just make
Do
it.
you
want
want to try this for the vlog? I'll shit. And
What do you
can
mean?
pick it up?
That's Mima picks up her dog poop in the backyard like that with trash bags. But you could totally do that with a bag just like that.
Not paper bags.
You could do that with a paper bag though,
No.
or like use the side of it and get it in there. That'd
You
be
could
easy.
You
Or
can't.
hold it underneath the dog's ass.
You can't turn a paper bag inside out and then hold shit with it and then turn it right back.
Yes, you could.
You can't.
You could, 100%. What do you mean? How do you think that wouldn't work?
All right, tomorrow when I get home from work, I'll bring a paper bag,
and I'll
you can go pick
I'll
up some shit.
I'll pick up
upside
one
down.
turd with it, and then you have to drive, and I'm gonna toss it into your window while it's on fire.
Okay, but you have to get in a car too.
How am I gonna toss it into the car while I'm in the car?
Well, he
throw
was
it,
in a car.
throw it out my window and go into your window.
That's what he did.
All right,
What, chicken?
chicken. But yeah, so Victor throws him his cut, and Walt's like, "What the fuck?" And
You
then
threw him his cunt? Are you gonna beep that?
no, I don't bleep shit in this podcast. You can say anything you want. Spit it out right now.
All right, Jerome's a dildo.
Except that got sent. Actually, I did send to you last episode too.
Did
So,
you?
Yeah.
I didn't
You
catch
don't
it.
watch the podcast though, so I literally could have put a giant. I could have put a giant cock on your head last
Yeah,
episode
but
and you wouldn't have known.
If I did see it, then I wouldn't be sitting here anymore.
You wouldn't stay here because I put a penis on your head during the podcast?
I've noticed things that you've done, and I just don't say anything, too.
Yeah, but you don't watch it.
Oh, I have.
Yeah, name one you watched.
I watched the one where you cut out something I said. I forget what we were talking about, but I said no, and then you just like totally cut out what I said. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Well, sometimes it doesn't. It's a bad conversation, so I cut it out. I cut out a lot of bad conversations in our podcast.
Yeah, but it was a correct conversation. You just cut out the correct part.
I don't think it was. You can't even remember what it was, so how do you know it was a good conversation?
I know I saw it and I listened to it. I was like, prick.
I only cut out things that when I'm watching, I go, this is a bad conversation. So it clearly had to have been a bad conversation.
Yeah, but that's your judgment.
Well, I'm the editor. Maybe if you offered to edit the podcast, then that would have still been in there. You see what I'm saying, Smoke Dog?
No, I don't understand.
Well, have you done? Anything else you want to say? This is our shortest one yet. We flew through these bad boys. Bad boys.
Well, they
what
were
you going to do?
They were condensed episodes.
Yeah, they were very tight episodes.
Yeah.
They were very...
Here we go.
Tight, yeah!
What the fuck was
It's like
that?
my little cheerleader routine. You want to go through every button and we'll...
No.
All right, well, that's it for Captain Cook this week, everybody. Comment down below what's your favorite button, how many fingers Nick can fit in his butthole. And, yeah, we'll see you guys next week for Breaking Bad in a day or two.
What?
Breaking Bad Season 3, Episodes 5 and 6.
I wasn't even listening and that didn't make sense.
Does this pussy make you make meth?